Bam,
many
I got both of you.
times does a man need to beat his meat in a day to be healthy? That's how we're starting.
Probably about 4. I say at least 4. When you're like 17, it's like endless. You could do it forever.
Yeah, I'll say 2 to 3.
2 to 3 times a day?
Yeah.
Solid.
I
My
think
mother-in-law is our biggest fan, so she's definitely gonna love this intro.
Yeah. I don't have enough time to get 2 or 3 in a day, but
I mean,
hey, if you're Matthew McConaughey, you just start thinking about money, and then money starts flowing it through. So it's just one big vicious cycle. But you don't sell pharmaceuticals anymore, so you don't have to worry about having to use your own stash to keep yourself going for the day.
right.
Granted, you said you were only selling fish oil, so I mean, you could have just been like a really lean, very muscular dude. And that could have just gotten the rocks off.
I think a dude needs to do it, has to have sex or at least beat off once a day at a minimum. You have to.
I think
for
that's,
all you ladies out there,
once you hit your mid-20s.
I think for all you ladies out there listening, those long poops aren't poops. Those long showers aren't showers.
Knock it off. I get lost on my phone. You can't be outing me like that.
I know what you're doing. You better clear your browser history, Steve.
I clear my browser history every time I'm done. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. But
you know what? My wife knows. I've told her.
Oh,
I don't keep that shit a secret.
Yeah, she looks at me. She's like, "That's fine. You could have just."
You
asked
mean
me.
Tammy,
like,
right?
Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, you."
Don't worry about what I'm doing in there.
Yeah, I was like, but she just kind of goes. She goes, "Hey, you don't have to really do that. You just ask me." I'm like, "Well, you're tired. You worked all day and all
What's going on with this?"
And she's like, "No." Can you hear me?
What's going on with my wife? Yeah, I can hear you. I'm trying to make sure my Wi-Fi is good too.
Okay.
Unless your Wi-Fi has AIDS and it's now spread to my Wi-Fi.
No, I got a gig up and down, so I'm good.
I'm pretty sure.
Is mine good?
Oh,
I think yours is the best.
Yours is
so
perfect.
Far.
And you're in a car. Funny because I'm on the phone.
Exactly. That's wild.
What is going on here? It says mine's good.
You're good. My connection is fucking.
Everybody switched to phones.
Oh God, no! I can't record on the phone. I have to be on a computer.
I'm using my AIDS-proof phone to make sure that my Wi-Fi is good, and I'm going to take everything off of that I don't need.
I should have shaved my face. Man, I look scrubby.
Yeah, why do you look so? Well, you got to shave your head too.
No, I don't. This shit's staying forever.
All right, why don't you go ahead and introduce who's coming on to the podcast today?
Here we go. Today we got Jeff Evans. I think I would say him as a founder, a co-founder of CerusPerformance. All the flow, rim, gut, immune. I got all that stuff and it works. FYI. It's gonna be some nice codes for y'all down in the description to work to use it. But I use it before all of my aerobic sessions. So I get on a C2 bike for an hour. My coach programs, he's like, "Oh, you got to go on these long interval runs." I drop some flow in my mouth and I give it about 30 minutes. And I feel like I got a second or third lung. Yeah, because the first one's broken.
Hey, it's funny you say that. So last Saturday, I was at an event and the announcer was like, "Make sure y'all stop by to get some samples of flow. It'll give you a second lung." I'm like, "Well, you got a bunch of one lung people out here? What's going on? We had a CrossFit event." Like, you screwed that up.
You look at the guy, you're like, "Oh man!" But I technically do have one lung, dude, because I function lower than everybody else. So sickle cell anemia, it's like, I won't say it's like approved to cure it, but I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, it'll open you up, bro. I get people all the time that have asthma or had COVID and their lungs come right back, or like they stop using their asthma pump during workouts. It's nuts. Like, I met 2 last weekend. They walked up and were like, "Yeah, I stopped using my inhaler during my workouts because my lungs are just like somebody was sitting on my chest and they just stood up."
Jesus, it's like taking beta alanine.
Nuts, bro. Nah, it's better, bro. It's better. I used to be big on beta back when I was competing heavy, but this is a whole different monster.
But
well, man, welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming on. And Ken, are we starting with a line of questioning here? Are we going to start asking this man about his social security number? I don't want that. I want to know how many kids he has, how many he doesn't have, how many he doesn't know about.
We're gonna let him talk about himself for as long as he
Hopefully
wants.
none.
So introduce yourself, Jeff. Tell all the people what you do, all
How
the
many
things
times you
you've
beat
done.
off a day?
That's a good one too.
Yeah, well, we started with that earlier, so I'm gonna skip that part. But
I just want to make sure that we don't kick that down the road.
Don't kick that can.
But yeah, so like you said, I'm the founder of CerusPerformance. I started it back in 2020 during the COVID lockdowns. I had a random conversation with an old buddy that worked for the supplement sponsor I had back when I was competing, and he just sparked that idea of like creating my own product, and that's how Flow was formed. You know, that was our first product for about 9 months before I launched more. I ended up bringing some partners on. They own Vero Strength and Conditioning down in Vero Beach, Florida. Rob, the husband, he was my coach when I was competing. What was it, Granite Games 2018? Ooh. And yeah, I placed third on that one. That was incredible. Like 3 months to prep for that, because I took 10 months off of no CrossFit at all, and then just trained 3 months straight of conditioning. But yeah, so I sent them product. They tested it out for me. They gave it to their members. Everybody loved it. And they hit me up and was like, hey, can we partner up with you on this and blow this thing up? And it's just us three. I own majority of it. And, you know, for me, you know, one of my goals is to have the largest endurance capacity focused, like, supplement company ever, you know, and doing it where it's health and performance in each product.
Now, what makes up this product?
My mission. So Flow is 5 ingredients. So it's Arjuna, which is a tree bark, and it's focused on the heart, the lungs. Like, it has medical studies on like treating asthma, ejection fraction, which is the pumping of the heart. It makes it more efficient on pushing stuff out, or pushing blood out, and then regulating blood pressure a lot better. Like, people think of beetroot in that way, and we have beetroot in it. But if you don't affect the heart, then all you're doing is opening the blood vessels up, like that vasodilation, which you want that. But when you have an ingredient that's literally affecting the muscle tissue of the heart, making it more efficient, now you can regulate. And especially in CrossFit and endurance, like, you have to pace at high heart rates without falling apart. So we have that. We have beetroot. Ashwagandha is a big one. There's a ton of studies on increase in performance, VO2 output with that, and reducing stress levels. So, like, when I think about working out, blood pressure goes up, heart rate, breathing rate goes up. Like, that's a lot of stress on your body. So if you have something in your body circulating, like helping lower that stress, so you can focus on the workout, that's a plus. And then rhodiola is for like the mental part of it, and it has some stress properties as well. And then cayenne is it's a natural fat burner, like metabolism booster. So it's, you know, warming spice. So you put them all together, it has that synergistic effect of helping you with everything that's going on during your workout. Like, everything that's going chaotic, it helps calm that down so you can really pace right.
Huh. Yeah. I feel like I kind of need that recently.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I took, I want to say, what was it, January, April 2020, and I launched a business in October 2020. So that whole time in between, I was mixing my own stuff, testing it out, giving it to people, testing it, and, you know, we end up coming up with this. And I've edited the formula twice, because I had yohimbe in it, but I started doing more and more research, and it was great for circulation, but it had like heart problems and stuff. Even though it was a small dose, I just didn't want to have to deal with that stuff down the road. And nobody had any issues, but I just felt comfortable like taking it out. So yeah, and then that ended up launching into the Flow Pro. We had people buying 2-3 bottles a month, because it's no stimulants in it. That's the best part. No caffeine at all. It's only focused on the heart, blood, lungs, and stress. That's it.
I really like caffeine. That's a shame.
I do too.
At least you were not like the government, and you went back and you looked at the product you were giving people and saw that it could possibly hurt somebody, and then you changed it. We don't tend to do that these days.
Yeah, quick. And the reason I left caffeine out is because all these pre-workouts, energy drinks, like, it's such a craze, and I hate it, because, like, adding 2, 3, 4, 500 milligrams of caffeine or higher, which I talk to some people. Like that's
Makes
a
for
lot of
some
stress and
very
anxiety.
big
So it's,
pre-wad poops.
Yeah.
yeah, like you screwing your sleep up and you adding stress and anxiety to your body. People wonder why we have so many people with anxiety issues. It's because you dumping more stress on your body
And then we're
outside of
putting
all the
all
work
that,
stuff, bills, and all that.
and then we're putting all that caffeine in us. It makes us have to go take poops that are really big and really long, right? And then we're stuck in there for a long time, so we might as well just beat our shit. So, like, what are we doing here, guys?
You circle right back to beating your dick. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
It's not my fault.
we gotta
He's the one who had to take the caffeine out just so that I wouldn't have to.
Everybody, Steve has dick on the brain, so you got to excuse him today. He's having a moment.
Hey, man, I'm just saying that men should be able to pleasure themselves whenever they want, and it should not be at the cost of this man's product.
That is fair.
Like,
but unlike most of the things that government gives you, his product, I'll share the screen again. This is what like really took me into it and made me want to really dive into it deep.
Are you gonna show me porn? Is that what this is?
No, not that. So we're gonna click this. We're gonna go over, and he literally has all the ingredients on the back, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Like,
yeah, that's it. You literally nothing else.
Like, you can't beat that. And
I want to know the first time that a white person tried to pronounce ashwagandha by the way that it was spelled.
Oh God.
I'm just saying, look at it and then tell me a white person
bet
trying to
that was
sound
funny.
that out.
Wait, let me see.
Ashwagandha.
There's no H after the G. It's after the D, silly.
The A is silent.
Like this guy.
The A is silent. But yeah, you got that.
So that led into researching more products. Like I always wanted a full line of herbal, like mushrooms, tree barks, roots, like those types of things. But if you get the dosing right, make it potent enough, you get the results. So like then we came out with the sleep, the gut, the immune, and then we just launched the focus about 2 months ago, which is a nootropic. And then we have our next product, which I'm praying we have before the ACC up in Daytona. It used to be Bacon Beatdown. It's a huge CrossFit event. We're coming out with a creatine electrolyte hydration supplement. Shit is fire. Like when I say fire, bro, has 5 grams of creatine, all the electrolytes and a legit dosing, and then it has coconut water powder.
What?
Yeah.
So it's gonna taste good.
We did tangerine and watermelon flavor to start.
I'll take the watermelon. It's not because I'm black, but it is because I'm
That's
black.
exactly why.
I fucking love watermelon.
I love the tangerine. We had almost 50-50. We let like 40, 50 people try it out, and literally everybody said they're not buying creatine until ours come out. And they love the flavors. Like we got it just right, bro. I'm telling you, this is gonna be a game changer.
I want that real bad. I
think I need that REM. I think I need that REM product you guys have.
Everybody, you see that?
Yeah,
see
bro.
Right here?
So with the REM, we did it without melatonin because every sleep product has it, and I wanted to do it naturally.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest ingredients is magnolia bark and reishi mushroom. Magnolia bark helps with like the GABA receptors. So like the production of it increases when you're on that. But it's basically built from the top down, like the most milligrams all the way down to the least. But yeah, you get that heavy sedative kind of feel. You don't fall asleep fast, but when you sleep, you're out.
Oh yeah,
like
you
vivid dreams.
Yeah, you sent me, dude. Okay, let me talk about. Let me pause you right there. Vivid dreams, bro. I'm on an SSRI, right? So I don't want to tell Tam this, but she's gonna figure it out because she's a pharmacist and she's gonna listen to this probably. But I stopped having. I haven't had to take Prozac in like 2 months. I asked him the pharmacist prescribe to kind of taper me off. And he was like, well, get on the 20 milligrams and then go to none for a couple of days. If you start to spike up again, take 20 and keep taking yourself down. So like, I started taking this. This is like a firsthand account. I started taking the REM before bed, like an hour before. It feels like I'm high, but I'm not high. And it feels like I'm kind of easing into sleep. I'll lay down on my mattress and I'm like, I'm done. I'm just done. And the dreams are pretty vivid. Bruh, what?
See, I don't know if I want vivid dreams. I just kind of want to feel rested when I wake up.
You feel rested when you wake up.
I actually had, so full disclosure, I had somebody messaged us, what was it, 2 days ago? No, it was Sunday. They DM'd us and said that they went to sleep. And this, like herbals, everybody absorbs it different. That's why majority of people, they feel just like Ken said. But every once in a while, I'll have somebody hit me up and the dreams are like super intense and they have like nightmares.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the side effect of valerian root. So we're looking at probably tweaking, like bringing that down 5% on the dosing, because I don't want people to go through that. But she told me she woke up and ran out of her house naked. I was like, what in the hell? Like, I've never heard of that type of shit. But
I want to know what she was doing before she went to bed.
Yeah, no, but like we have people that tell like the dreams are intense as hell because it puts you in that REM state.
Yeah, because REM is where you dream really heavy.
Yeah,
deep
so that's why we named it that.
That stuff is like, because me, Jalen, and Hayes take it, and oh my god, man, like mix that with that Ace Sleep mattress, and it's like amazing.
What the?
Well, you're fine. We can hear you.
I think. Well, my screen chipped a little bit, but I wanted to know. So all of this that you have, all your products, they're how do I say this? Drug test proof in the sense that like there's no like military, like we're not worried about popping hot, nothing.
Exactly. So none of it's on WADA or USADA. Like I was a games athlete. I've played college football. Like I know all about that stuff. I've never tested positive for drugs. Like I understand how important it is. And like we have a couple guys that are in semis right now taking it. A couple former games athletes. We actually did VO2 testing on Flow in early 2021 or maybe in summer. And like my VO2 went up 20% and work capacity went up 25% in 4 weeks. Mackenzie Flincham, she went to the games in 19. Her VO2 went up 4% and her work capacity went up 3%. And that was during the semifinals training. She did the before and after test. And this is 1 month, just one bottle of Flow, not even the pro.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like Chuck Sullivan, he's a 6-time Masters athlete, 65 plus. And his VO2 went up 13% and work capacity went up 14%. It was like over a minute and a half extra on the treadmill for him. And he's a runner. Like he's a small guy. But
well, I mean, that's more incredible for that age.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like that's a huge increase for 4 weeks of just taking 2 ml, like the small bottle. So like we're slowly just proving this thing out. Like the more and more we've sold, I think around 3,500 bottles now to this point, or maybe more.
In just that one product?
Oh. Yeah, just Flow.
We
did last year. We did right above 6 figures, and for 9.5 months of that year, last year, we only had one product, just Flow. Didn't even have the big bottle, just the small bottle for 9.5 months.
And so now you're in medical sales. Is this business something that at some point you will leave medical sales and just hope to just jump on full time?
I mean, it all depends, but I would love to stay in this career and continue to build this. And like right now it's a side hustle, weekends I get off and, I go down and do weightlifting seminars for free and people buy product. Like the last couple of weekends, I've sold a few $1,000s worth of product. Yeah. Just by going and telling people about it. It all depends because I'm making great money right now in medical device. Like, and I've learned from, lessons over the years, like the main thing is the main thing until it's not. And I need to be making double what I make now from Cerus to make that transition, like feel comfortable. Because I have I have my girl and a 2.5-year-old. So that comes first.
Got to make sure you support that family.
Oh yeah. We've
been through a struggle.
The same metrics that I sent you that day, I posted it on Facebook. When I started taking Flow, that was summer of last year, right when I started doing aerobic capacity and running. I don't think it was just the running because I stay at altitude and I'm sickle cell anemic. I went from it was my VO2 max is a 39. My VO2 max is a 39. Get this. I took it twice a week, just Tuesday and Thursdays before I did my aerobic stuff. And then I took it Wednesday, Friday before my longer 15 plus minute Metcons, and my VO2 max went from a 39 to a 47. Like it's incredible. It's crazy. I'll actually, I can't pull it up on my computer screen, but I can show my watch that tracks it all, and you can take.
Yeah, I remember you sent me the screenshots of it.
Yeah, that's what it is now as of yesterday. Well, as of April 5th, when I tested it.
And what's crazy is because of how we formulated this is a supplement you take daily. Like you can take all these supplements daily. And you said you only took it before, like, what was it, 4 days a week? Yep, you weren't even taking it every day.
Nope.
And that's how I made it, because it's like a heart health supplement as well. So you take it daily to keep your cardiovascular system open and keep working on strengthening your heart.
Exactly.
I need to work on strengthening my ankle. What do you have for that right now?
Yeah, well, you got to hit the bathroom, hit the shower, for about 30 minutes.
Oh, no.
You got to do calf raises while you get it off.
Dude, doing calf raises is almost fucking impossible at this point.
Jesus.
This whole fucking thing, I'm just been bitching about my fucking ankle for like the last like 3 to 4 days, and I need some help with this thing, because I thought it was good yesterday, Ken. I woke up and this like I was able to walk down the stairs, everything felt fine. Went to the gym yesterday, all of a sudden didn't feel fine like 10 minutes into the warm-up. And I was just like, what in the fuck can I do at this point? But
have you ever sprained your ankle before, Steve? Have you ever done it before?
No, dude, I've never had an injury other than this middle finger that is stuck sideways.
Dude, it's gonna take you like 3 weeks to get back to just jogging.
Shut the fuck
it's gonna take you a bit.
Bro,
yeah, it is, because
that swelling in those ligaments and stuff, it sucks because it's in those tight spaces.
Because if you haven't strained, if you haven't strained it real bad, if you've like torn it, hopefully you haven't torn any ligaments. You say that a high ankle sprain, it's gonna take you a little bit, man. I broke mine, and it took me a year to walk again, to learn to walk. So
it's not fun, man.
It's not at all. But like
I screwed mine up playing football. I got safety jump behind me. I play receiver. Safety jump behind me, grabbed the back of my helmet, and we were on AstroTurf, and he flipped me. And when I say it was like 3 golf balls in my ankle, bro, and I was done the rest of the year. That was the second game of the season, and that thing was huge. I know I tore like ligaments, tendons, or something in there.
Yeah, it's rough. It's terrible. Like,
so, yeah.
Like, okay, so my other question is, or the next question I got for you is kind of on the same topic, but not really. You have all of us we do the sponsorship through you guys, and I know me, Hayes, and Jalen do it. And I know what you gave to Hayes to help him get to the fitness experience, like TFX, like that made a big difference in his life. How much do you think that giving back gives back to you, I guess, or what do you expect out of that exchange, or how much of that do you do?
So I sent both of them $150 each, because I saw they were putting the GoFundMe. I'm like, and that came out of my own pocket, because this whole movement, after that whole George Floyd thing, and when the Melanin CrossFitters group got put together, like I felt like I needed to find some ways to step it up, make sure my family is taken care of, the business is done right, and any little extra that I can help out. And I'll be honest, I talked to my boy Aaron. I don't know if you know Aaron Scott. He's on it. I'll link y'all up, because he's smart dude. I call him the most certified, because he has almost every training certification you can think of.
Jesus.
But yeah, I don't remember getting one like shout out or anything like that when they went out there. So I was like confused and frustrated, because I gave my own money to help them get out there.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a few posts after that, but it's like I'm trying to grow the biggest Black-owned supplement company out there, and I've put it out in the group multiple times and on my personal page, and like people know what I'm trying to do. But to have that support, like we got to figure some way to come together. Like I spoke to Elijah Muhammad about this a couple of weeks ago, and we were trying to figure something out. Down the road, hopefully we can work together, because I know he likes the product. It's just more on the financial side, because I know he has a lot of kids and a wife or whatnot. So I'm trying to figure out ways to make this stuff work. But at the same time, it's like I got to make sure I see people helping me out as well.
Yeah.
Because we haven't taken a paycheck yet, and we keep snowballing all this money and adding more money. into
Jesus.
all of this. Like for us to do 6 figures in our first full year, like that's huge. And that's
Yeah.
off me promoting my small following and going out and hustling.
Mhm.
So imagine we got 1,000+ people in that Melon and CrossFit group. Imagine if one person buys a product every month, and I got something for everybody, especially when I get that creatine and we got a protein blend we're working on, like something for everybody. Like if each person bought, that'll put me in the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month range to really start giving back. Because that was a big part. Like you go on the website, it says support our kids. Is when people use the code, 20% of that sale goes to those charities. And it's Operation Underground Railroad. It used to be Steve's Club, but it's Forging Youth Resilience, I think it's called now. Foster Fit, and then Specially Fit. There you go, right there.
Yeah, I got it up on here.
So yeah, when everybody uses those codes, all that money is going right to, or 20% of that sale is going right to that charity. Like I think we donated like close to $1,000 last year to Hour. I think we had $600 or $700 to FYR, a couple hundred to the other ones. And we're a small ass company, so we had to switch it up. You know, we were doing 6% of the total, but just didn't make sense. So we want people to use those codes. And, you know, for me, like your original question is like that whole giving back part. Like that's what I'm all about. Like I just had a guy I know from competing at regionals. He has a nutrition business. He was like, if you send me people, I'll give you a kickback. I'm like, nah, I make good money now. If somebody hits me up about nutrition, I'll just send them your way. Like you don't need to give me no money. That's your business. Like I don't need that. Like I'm focused on my lane.
I think a big thing nowadays, like especially like we're a company, well, not a company yet, but we're a podcast. First of all, brought to you by BlitzBelts. Go check them out. It's in the link tree. We've taken a look at the idea of becoming a company because at some point we would like possibly to get paid to do this. Being somebody who's in the military, I can't necessarily just do that up front. I kind of have somebody who has to approve that, but Ken can.
Yeah.
So if anything, we can kick it all in Ken's name and commit tax fraud.
Ken is also a very busy man. I think every day that I spend, every like podcast we do, I spend about 4 hours editing video, sound, make sure it sounds good, making every thumbnail you see, I make it from scratch because I want it to be unique. I want people to see the face of that person because it's not about me or Steve. You know, the black and white logo is but the black and white logo is the black and white logo is very small. But the person that's there, their picture is huge. I want everyone to see who these people
because nobody, as much as I love our name, nobody cares about the little microphone and the name surrounding it. I mean, they can find that in the post itself because it's going to be at the top and the bottom. Yeah. But knowing who we're talking to, and like I was going to say, I think what we've seen is there is a growing sense around the world where people want to partner with other people until you have to do partnership things, which sometimes means sacrificing for the other business or for yours and giving that give and take. Like you said, you got 1,000 people in a group chat. That is, or just a group, I'm assuming, what is that, like an Instagram group or something?
Yeah, it's Facebook private group.
Okay. So, I mean, at that point, getting 1,000 people to join something, first of all, is hard, but then I can imagine what rallying 1,000 people to do a simple task is. But you are right. There is that like part of just basic life where people don't necessarily always want to click to do the thing they said they were going to do, which is support in what way they can. Now, there are some people who can't scrounge together $50 just to buy a bottle of Flow per se, because they're like, hey, I could put $50 towards something else. So it's definitely been hard to do that.
Yeah, support. So I don't know if y'all have ever read the 4 agreements, but agreement number 2 is never take things personal. Mm-hmm. And I live my life like that in every aspect, from my relationship with my girl, my family, work, business, all of it. And if people tell me they want to support me, like it can be just a simple repost or a shout out, or just telling their gym owner that we're in 35 CrossFit gyms right now, and tons of people buy from us. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get connected, but stuff like that, like just connecting me with the right people. You don't have to, like I've given out hundreds of bottles of Flow just to try to get, build that momentum up and get people. And I have athletes that never responded, that I've competed against for years. Like, but I can't take it personal. Like, they're in their own experience right now, and that's all right.
They're in their own version of the simulation.
I can tell you.
I can promise you though on here, if we're a partnered agreement, Ken, first of all, he tags everybody but me in every single one of our goddamn posts. But I mean, like, Jim Hensel, I believe, was the guy that told us this, was you're about 2 people away from knowing just about anybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have gotten to, and Ken does a phenomenal job at this. I thought I was going to be the one doing this, but it's Ken who is able to literally get us in touch with just about anybody. And I'll check the DMs, and every once in a while there'll be messages flown in and out. And Ken's like 9 to 10 messages deep with like 15 different people, getting us new viewers, getting us new guests, boosting the podcast more. I'm like, God, I can't keep up with this shit. So it's good on him that he's able to get that done. But if you're with us, I promise you, you'll probably be tagged in just about anything. And if you tag us in anything, I think Jess makes fun of me all the time. I think I probably repost each one of our stories
like 4 times,
5, 6 times in a row. She's like, don't you think they all saw it? I was like, well, just in case, I want to make sure they either go to the next or come back. Yeah. So
and you put me with Savon, right?
Yeah.
And then now me and Savon, he'll call me out of nowhere randomly now, and I sent him a product. He gave me great feedback on it. They just sent me the basically layout. I'm waiting on some data from them about sponsoring their podcast and doing email blasts.
Yep.
Like, and that was just because of, you said you had to connect and
hey, hang on.
Just hook me up with it.
Does he know?
Just who know what? Oh, he doesn't know about the thing? Oh.
Do you know about the Savon thing?
The Savon thing?
Nah, what happened?
We don't hate him. I like him. He just done.
No, I think it was a very dumb mistake.
But he made a dumb mistake. He said the N-word with his he said nigga on his podcast with Christian, what was his name?
Christian Harris. Yeah, I saw that
Harris. Yeah, okay. I was like, bruh.
We kind of took a step back just because it was so so nonchalant, in the sense that, like, I by no means am going to crucify the man for saying the word with its A. I mean, he didn't call anybody that. I know he was referencing like Joe Rogan did, and he was just saying the title of the song. I get it. The problem was he said it super nonchalant to me, and I was like, too soon.
He said
too soon, buddy. This isn't like 9/11 where we can make some small jokes in reference to it.
But I can tell you for a fact the man is not racist. I
know
for 100% fact he's not racist.
Bro,
we'll put that out right now.
We spent an hour on the phone and talked for a long time where he grew up and all that. And for me, hold on one second.
You're good.
Somebody's trying to call. And for me, like, I understand I personally feel like he's just trying to understand, like,
Black culture.
I guess people, just trying to understand more and not using it in that way.
No.
And for me, it's funny. I was just about to say, like, y'all show is.
People will love you. People will love
you. Somebody keeps trying to call. It's probably a patient. I'll have to call him back.
Oh no.
But yeah, so it's fine. Yeah, I'll get them out. But the podcast is not all black and white. Like, I'm mixed. I'm black and white, and I have my own experience with racism on both sides. And because I'm not black enough, I'm not white enough. Like, I never felt like I truly felt like I was in it. I still identify as black, but I had my own experience. But just hearing him out, when he told me his whole story, then I was like,
You said it's a what rule?
The 1 drop rule.
What does that mean? 1 drop of melatonin?
Yeah, one drop of melanin.
Melanin?
I did that DNA thing, and I was, what was it? I think it was 60% white, 5% Mexican, which I knew I had some kind of Mexican in me, and then the rest was black. like African, European, that type of stuff. But I'll just break it down that simple.
Oh yeah. Like I'm mixed with a whole
So-
bunch of stuff. I'm gonna pull up my my ancestry DNA so everybody can see it, see what I am. So
So you said that you were a competitive CrossFitter, right?
Yeah, I competed at the games in 14 and then 4 or 5 regionals.
Oh, okay.
before we transfer
oh,
to that,
oh.
I'm gonna hit this DNA thing real quick. So
You got to
I'm
prove
gonna do
to
it.
us
I'm gonna do it.
how black he is.
How white I am. No, you're gonna laugh at this.
This is about as many % of your body as that hair color.
Watch, yeah, it's pretty deep. Here we go. It's gonna show the 10 other regions.
I thought that said 24% Caucasian.
No, it's right here. So
32% Nigerian.
Wales 4%, England, and Northwestern Europe 15%, because my grandma was half Native American and half Black.
So just because it says England and North European doesn't mean that that's white European. I hope you know that, right?
It's white European. I'll show you.
No, it's not. That's telling you DNA that is transferred back to that region.
Yeah, you okay, watch this. You think that they didn't fuck slaves?
No, of course they did, but that doesn't make you white.
You're stupid.
I've seen my grandmother's face. She was as white as they come. That lady was basically
Okay,
white.
but that doesn't. Well, what I'm saying is just because they like the Nigerian part, there's not very many white people that live in Nigeria. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, remember everything was
The amount
connected
of
all
black
at once.
people
This
that
whole
live
thing was
in
one
fucking-
landmass.
Okay, so does that mean that you have 1% of your ancestors are from like those like last 5? No.
Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm gonna claim it as much as I can. It boosts my credit score.
So
Boosts the fuck out of
apparently
my credit score.
Elizabeth Warren is more Native American than you are.
100%. She wins.
Oh God.
Cool.
But
Don't
no,
you have
like
to be-
him.
Aren't you like if you're like 11 or something percent, you get paid from the whatever tribe you hail from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You collect a
get
little bit of cash?
a nice check. I had some people in high school, kid, they used to get like 10 grand a month each.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I
And
can
that's
do 10
that's
grand a
based
month.
off of how good your tribe's casino is probably doing.
100%.
Because they did that shit in Connecticut. That's where I learned that. There was somebody in a college I went to, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm Mohegan," and I was like, "Oh, so are you part of the Mohegan tribe that owns a casino?" And he's like, "Yes,
Yes.
I get a lump sum of cash
Fat
every
check.
month." And I was like, "Oh, that's very interesting." He's like, "Yes, it's better when the casinos are up. If they're winning a lot, then we get paid more."
Fair,
Mhm.
fair.
But I think I might be wrong. I think it might be 16%. You have to prove that you are 16% of some Native American tribe.
But to go back to the other point, to try to segue back the whole giving back portion. Yeah,
Terrible-
segue.
terrible
we're,
segue.
We're jumping all over it. Yeah, I'm gonna just go nonchalantly segue back. The giving back portion, I try to tag you as much stuff as I can. I try to tag everybody as much stuff as I can because,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Steve said, it only takes one person to recognize something, and some other person shares it, and it just blows you up overnight or over a week or whatever. But the
Exactly.
biggest thought process I have on that is you said there was 1,000 people on this Melon CrossFit page, and a fraction of them buy your product. That is, I can tell you for a fact, that is the issue with our race. I mean, I guess with Black people in general, because they go, "Oh, we've been so trained to go, oh, somebody else will solve that problem." Well, no, you probably should try to solve that problem. And individuals think that it's an individual problem when it's a collective issue. If everybody gets together and their group puts together $1 a month and sends it in, or says, "Hey, I'm gonna donate it to, Project Onyx, or, the fitness youth group that you have," that could change a kid's life. Like that. I remember there's this guy named Brent Porterfield, who's my mentor. Guys, he still calls me to this very day and talks to me. But he gave me a car when I graduated high school, gave it to me. I worked for him for 2 summers, didn't really know him that deep, but I knew his wife died of cancer. This guy, like, that changed my life because they gave me a way to get from point to point, be basketball practice in college, to home to see my mother who, got really sick. That one thing that somebody did for me made a huge difference. And I wish that our community as a whole would get back and get together and do this, because that's the whole reason that Melanin CrossFit Group was made, to get all of us together.
Exactly.
We don't see enough people in CrossFit. When is the last time somebody that was Black podium at the games? Tell me, Jeff.
That's a loaded
Never.
question.
Never.
They never have. So, you know, the only hope we have right now is chairman.
And me and
That's a bad bet.
me and Aaron talk about this a lot. Like, my goal is to build this so big to where I can sponsor like gym memberships to athletes, like up and coming athletes in the Black community, brown community. Like, I want to see more, you know, more color in the games, you know?
Yeah.
That's just something personal for me. Like, I can be the one to do that, and having everybody come together, and it's like, I'm trying to solve a problem of having health and performance in each product that give you results and have something for everybody.
Yeah.
But we just need, like, it'll feel like me knowing we built this company huge, knowing that the Black and brown community came together to help like build this thing up. Like, that'll mean so much to me. Yeah. But again, I don't take it personal if it doesn't happen. Like, that's just something I really would love.
Yeah.
You know,
but the thing that you go back to what you said before, like you said, you know, Jalen went down there, you gave him this money, and then you didn't hear anything back from it. If you had the opportunity, or if you get the opportunity to listen to our first podcast with them, they thanked you a lot. They went in, they were like, man, they were like, Jeff's a real one. He gave us this to get down there. Like, it was, you know, somebody Black helping somebody Black. And he's like, we're in the Army, we got a fixed income. And that $150 went a long way. He's like, that paid for our meals. And I was like, that is amazing. You know, that did something that kept you fuel for that competition. Podium or not, place high, place low, you still got there.
That didn't matter.
Yeah,
it was getting them out there.
I always think back to when I went to school and I played basketball, and I came back to my high school gym to just do open gym, and I just ran a few games of the pickup games over the summer. And my basketball coach, Coach Jones, came to me and he was like, you know, all of these kids want to hear you say something. I'm like, oh my God. And I sat there and talked to him. And from me having that conversation, he said a couple of kids came to him afterwards and said, it's really nice to see somebody from our community make it somewhere and do something with their lives. You know, everybody you have to either hold a microphone to get out of the Black community, you dribble to get there, or you sell drugs to stay in the community to get out. And, you know, if I can help with take one of those options off the table, which is selling drugs, then I feel like I've done a lot. And I can tell you from where I'm sitting at, you've done a lot for me, and I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. That's good to hear that they brought that up. I think our biggest thing, and myself included, is the communication part. Like setting the expectations up front and being clear, and not like, for me, like hoping that they're going to go above and beyond to make sure people know like the product works. Like, I helped them do this, that, and the other. Like, I can't expect more unless I ask for more. Yeah. So that's something I'm getting better at. Like, I had one of the guys I've known for a while. He's a doctor. He's one of the big names in CrossFit, a Black guy. And I sent him product, and we haven't spoken in, you know, months. And then he hits me up for more product, and I'm like, you know, you've gotten a few sales, but it's not, and you don't promote or anything. And he said in the beginning, which, you know, I get, again, that was my fault in not communicating. And I thought he was just going to keep promoting, because I'm trying to grow a huge supplement company that's majority Black owned. And I thought he was going to get behind that, and just because he has, you know, people in the space that look up to him, but it didn't work out that way. And it was just kind of awkward on both sides, you know, because I was expecting more, and he, you know, did the bare minimum type thing.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, and I'm telling you, that man is extremely busy too. But I get where you're coming from. You know, you can't go in.
I know his schedule. I'm, you know, dealing with docs and stuff, so I get it. But, you know, for me, again, expecting more than what was talked about. So I got to get better at that part as well. So
I think that's a basic part of like interpersonal relationships these days, is setting standards for whatever it is that you want going on. Because yes, everybody has busy lives, but also there's so much to do nowadays that people consider that like their options make them busy. And it's like, well, I could go do this, or I could go do that. And it's like, what would a good person do in this sense of like, hey, I made an affiliation with a company, or as a company owner, like I made affiliations with these people. I might be tired, but the right thing to do right now would be like, you're about to go make calls to clients, double check on your work. Before you go home, you're going to do probably 3-4 things that have to do directly with your business. And I think That's probably the hardest part for people who, Ken knows I hate this word, the ambassadors.
You're good.
Right?
Yeah.
Which we know, like certain, like is startup podcasts, startup athletes. You're trying to make it somewhere. If you're not winning, if you're not placing like the top 100 in the open, if you're not podiuming like competition after competition, no Nike is coming to your front door. Noble ain't coming to your fucking front door. Unless you go to a gym that's sponsored by a company and then you become really good and have that connection with like an owner to get you to the company, you're going to go to all of the lower supplement companies. You're going to go possibly even to the GNC down the road and be like, hey, will this specific franchise sponsor me in whatever, like 25% off all merchandise? Will you do it? And most of the time you got to beg and plead, or you got to be really good. Even the Army, we have a team that literally fucking sponsors athletes.
No.
And we have athletes that are tremendous, like Hayes and Jalen, who aren't even getting the real shot because the team fucking sucks.
They suck at the administrative shit. They suck at trying to get them there, which is
okay,
very easy. Somebody's
like
been in the Army at a higher level. It's very simple to do the things for them they need.
But that is like saying that you're going to go try to get sponsored by a company that doesn't know how to do their taxes without committing tax fraud. I'm probably not going to go over there and ask for any of their dirty money.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But no, people complain about, I don't have this amount of time, I don't have that amount of time. It's based on what you put on your plate. So what I'm going to take myself, because I'm a big like advocate of speak for self. For me, I'm a project manager as an engineer. I train 4 or 5 hours a day. I help run this podcast, but I help run this podcast with Steve.
Bigger flex.
I try to give back as much as I can. I, manage 2 kids, a house, a dog, the wife, all this stuff. And like, it's a lot of stuff at one time, but I still can find the 5 minutes to go, let me type this post up. Bam, okay, did I send it to enough people? Let me redo it and do this and make it, a little bit better, because this person needs this, trying to make this goal. My 5 minutes could mean $50,000 this person down the road.
But the other flip side to all of that is like somebody who works like that hard. I mean, I consider myself a very hard worker. Granted, I understand my job here does not demand that much time as much as like some of my previous jobs did. But like I technically am an ambassador for Airwave. I can tell you there's 99% of the time, I don't even think of them when I put up a post or put something out there, because what my relation with that company is I have one email in return that is very generalized. I don't feel like it was personal at all. And the few times that ambassadorships have come my way, I either know that they're kind of bullshit, or in the end, right, I'm getting $10-15 at most per month.
You still have to
unless I still got to buy the product almost full price. Granted, sometimes it's like 10-15% off, so you get like free shipping essentially. But
we froze. That's funny.
There are companies and athletes.
There you go.
Oh, I keep breathing every once in a while.
It's your poor apartment internet. It's okay.
It's not poor. It's AT&T, man.
You got poverty internet from AT&T.
Oh, look, the white person is impoverished now.
It's like the roles have flipped.
Oh yes, because we are.
But I get what you're saying. But like for me, knowing that like I'm majority owner, I've been at the highest level of CrossFit. Like anybody who DMs me, like I DM them back. Like I make sure I go out of my way to hit people back. And like I've always been like that, even when I was at my highest. Like I remember when Chandler Smith, before he blew up, I think it was a year or two before, he hit me up and was asking for advice, and I hit him back. And then to see where he's at now, I was like, it's nuts. You never know like who you can affect just by answering a DM. Like I reached out to one of the guys. He's a owner. I don't know how much of an owner, but he owns a supplement company in the space. And he basically gave me a generic answer, like, just grind hard and network and hustle.
Gee, thanks. I could have watched Wolf of Wall Street and figured that out.
Yeah. I'm like, I know that already. But then I reach out to Aaron Hine of Life Aid. The CEO of Life Aid is probably a 9-figure brand now. And he took the time to schedule a 1-hour conference call for no money and told me A to Z everything, bro. Like, that's why we were able to grow so fast, because he told me the sequence that he took on, starting in CrossFit, scaling to golf, focus aid, sleep aid, party aid. Like, he added on once CrossFit blew up. And I'm doing the same thing because I know our product can fit in any endurance sport, any fighting sport, any military. Like, we've had Navy SEALs test our stuff in elevation training. Every one of them blew everybody away. Like, I know we have a product, but to have a generic answer like that given to me by somebody that looks like me, and he's mixed.
Dang.
So we relate on that level too. Like, I thought he was going to give me way more than that, and then I got somebody who's a 8-9 figure brand owner, nonstop busy, and he reached out, give me 1 hour of his time.
That's super
bro.
valuable.
Like,
that's like, have you guys seen the Joe Rogan episode with Kevin Hart? I think it was a couple months ago. It's like still during COVID.
I watched all his,
and his shit was it was like a 3-hour motivational speech.
It was great. It was
exactly.
great.
Just literally how to remember where you came from, not necessarily the place in which you came from, to try to like bring those people out.
Circumstances,
and then I heard it on Two Bears One Cave. Not to give all the podcasts a shout out today, but Bert Kreischer was talking about he was in a comedy club a couple of times, and they would do like raffles, and be like, sometimes a comedian, he said, like, he won like $1,000 bonus for the night, right? And he at the time was just driving 6-7 hours to a gig to make $700 and drive back, right? And they don't get to keep probably a third of that money because it's either got to go to gas, living, whatever. And he's like, so I had
terrible.
This fucking Wi-Fi. He said he put $100 into a pot and then had every member in the crowd put $1 into the pot, and it came out to somewhere around like $700 or something. And then he would do this periodically at shows, and then he started calling like one dude up, two dudes up, and one of them was like, hey, this money is going to go towards my daughter's 13th birthday that I couldn't give her previously, but now I can be the dad that she thinks I am.
No.
And he was like, fuck. And then somebody else had come up and what was it? I forget what, I think it was a mom. And I think it was just like, I couldn't make rent. Now I can make rent, or some things along that line. And he said that one time a comedian came up and was just like, I had to turn down a gig in Los Angeles because I couldn't afford it. So I'm here, I'm in the backstage, and I have a set in like 15 minutes. And he was like, if I keep this money, I can actually call my agent back, hopefully still have time to book that and make it out there. He said that guy has come on tour with him 3 times now. And he's like, so when you look back at it, the reason why I tell that story is because both of those indications with both those comedians on those podcasts were talking about the people that were where they were, but earlier in their careers. And he's like, sometimes you'll bump into somebody who like,
there we go again.
Probably Ken and I have the janky ass Wi-Fi. God damn it.
Me.
Sometimes like I'll bump into a soldier who I see somewhere in my career path that I was in, and just lending that hand, the smallest amount of information helps. But sometimes you have to see those people from afar and then go out and help them. And then that stuff snowballs and eventually will help you out. But I'm starting to learn that in this realm, where a lot of the time you got to call out to those people and they'll give you that hour that you may not have thought you deserved, but they're willing to give it to you. Yeah,
bro. And like, after having that, like, I feel a responsibility to make sure I execute on all the things he gave me.
Yes.
Because my vision is, again, I want to take care of my family on that, but I've never, because of where I come from, like, I tried to commit suicide when I was 13. I was molested, like, dealing with depression. I had 2 cars repoed, been broke. Like, when my daughter was born, I had or right before she was born, I had no job. Then I worked 3 jobs. Like, all these experiences I've been through, like, I want to get to a point where I make it. Like, I want to build this thing up huge. Then I can go back to where I'm from in other cities like it and tell these kids, like, you don't have to just play sports. Like, become financially literate, understand business. Like, there's more millionaires out here outside of sports and rapping.
Yeah.
You know, being able to provide for your family and have self-worth, like all these different mindsets that I have now, these different viewpoints, I can start giving that back. And that's like my ultimate mission, is to change. Once you change the kid's mindset, dude, it's like that's the best feeling, because they know they're worthy of more than what they see in their current circumstances.
Yeah, it's like when you I think I was in my sophomore year of high school and I was playing AAU basketball, and the fact that I got to do that showed me that there was a big old world like outside of the street, like past my street corner. And that just made me go, oh, what's out there more? What's more? What do? You do stockbroker and you manage real estate. Like the dude that ran the team was a real estate broker and he paid for everything out of his own pocket. And I'm like, how is somebody able to do this? And then I went to college. And I was like, oh man, I understand. I get it now. I don't have to play basketball for the rest of my life. I ain't got to rap. I ain't got to sell drugs. You know, it's 3 things I said earlier. I ain't got to do those to be successful. I can do all these other things, you know, to make myself a millionaire or comfortable, because I'm comfortable now. But I think Steve was about to ask this question and it had a lot to do with kind of your past experience going to the games and everything. What did it take for you to get there? Like, describe what that was like. I mean, I guess you can go from a typical training day, from a micro view to a macro view of everything it took you to get there. And the second part of that is how much, and the second part is that what's stopping the Black community from ending up on the podium or in this space?
So as far as me getting to the games, I was training anywhere from 4 to 6 hours a day. It usually be 2 split sessions, or I'll split it up into 3, like a morning, afternoon, night, and working in between. But early on in my career, I was always a strong guy. Like, I still, in my eyes, like, I still claim like I was pound for pound the strongest person in CrossFit. And I don't know anybody yet to hit 4 or 5 clean and jerk and 315 snatch in the same year. So I don't know if I still have that record, but I always focus on heavy lifting because that's what I was good at. And I didn't focus enough on the conditioning, the gymnastics. I figured it out later in my career, you know, in 2017 or 2016 with the rope climb crap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, missing it by literally like 6 points. I would have finished 3rd. I finished 6th. So I finished 1 spot out. And then the next year with the pec strain, which I was in even better shape. But that's basically what it was, is live, you know, eat, sleep, breathe, train. Like, that's what it was, bro. Like, relationships, I sacrificed a lot on that. Like, I had a relationship, but it was, you know, screwed up most of the time, like wasn't doing right, and just ego boosted because you're CrossFit Games athlete, you on top of the world. But, you know, towards the end of my career, it started switching because I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I kept shifting towards that. I wanted to get away. And then, you know, towards the end, I start basically backing off and losing sponsors and just struggling with money and all that stuff. So like the financial part for most athletes is the most stressful, because you can't, you know, most people can't stay at their parents and just go to school and work out for a living, you know?
Yeah, like some people.
Like, yeah, most people have to provide. And no shots at him. Like, I'm glad he gets to do that. Like, if my daughter wants to compete in CrossFit Games down the road, like, you better believe I'm gonna be working my ass off so she has opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not for the majority. And, you know, it was tough for the most part, you know, trying to focus on training and do other stuff at the same time. But I mean, I enjoyed it. Like, I got my ass whooped on most of the endurance workouts. My claim to fame is I beat Rich Fronin in 2 workouts. It was the clean ladder, which I got second. And you remember the triple threes?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh,
you beat him in that?
I don't know how the hell I beat him, but I beat him in that.
That was the event that he ended up walking.
Yeah,
he walked the mile.
So
he tried to keep up with Jason
how bad I
Khalifa.
was. That tells you how bad I was.
Jason Khalifa did 300 double unders unbroken.
Yeah, he was a beast, bro.
That is
what
more phenomenal. No offense, I hate to cut you off. 300 double unders is
Insane.
Insanity that he
And
never
to be,
tripped.
yeah, and to be 215, 220, like monster.
He never tripped, let alone like slowed down.
He just kept going.
And then got on the rower
And just-
immediately. And then just let his fucking fat back just pull him the whole way through. I swear, like all he did was just extend his legs and then move his. Oh shit! I almost moved my whole shit off. Well, all he did was just like lean back and just like let his ginormous ass back in traps just throw his weight backwards.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was a monster, bro. But yeah, that's basically what it took, man. Just being disciplined, like eating right, working out nonstop. You got to be able to execute on these weaknesses. A lot of people spend too much time on the stuff they're good at. Like for me, I never had to touch a barbell. Like even on Monday, I went in there after 3.5 weeks off and hit 390 squat clean.
That's
like,
same. Yeah, same here.
I'm
same
about to
here.
sign off of this.
Yeah, I get that. That's
bro,
funny
it's like
because my
I don't need to. Yeah, I don't need to work on that.
yeah, that's funny because my coach has not let me lift heavy since we started 8 months ago.
But you
almost.
don't have a
You don't need to.
reason to.
You don't
Yeah, I
need
don't
to.
need to. I don't need to. Every once in a while, he'll
So-
go, "Hey, here's a Metcon. Now find your heavy clean jerk," and I'm like, "It's gonna be way lower than it's supposed to be."
Uh-huh.
No,
Yeah,
for
like taxing-
both of you,
taxing
most
yourself
likely,
and
if you
then-
take a week off, both of you, and go in and you haven't worked out in the slightest, you'll probably PR.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
The next day
that's
might
pretty-
suck, but
that's
you'll
pretty
probably
close to my
PR.
CrossFit. But yeah, so that's basically what it takes on that end. And then the second part, you said,
What
was
does
the
it
second
take?
part of that?
What does it take? What's holding us back from getting on the podium? From getting, somebody of color? I don't care if it's a Chinese lady. I don't care.
Chandler needs more
Yeah,
work on
I
his.
feel like it's more awareness than anything. Like just seeing more people and seeing it as a fun sport. Like everybody in the Black community is either basketball, football, or track.
And then you got Tiger Woods with golf, and everyone's like, "Oh, I probably can try golf."
Yeah,
and
but that's such a minority. Like we're like every neighborhood I've ever been to is usually football and track, and then you get some of the guys going basketball, but that's basically our sports where you can get paid. Like that's the way out. And that's why, like I said, when I make it to the level of success I want to, like I want to go back and have free financial literacy classes to teach kids about like how to write a check. Like I remember going, it was the National Guard. They had a summer program my dad put us in. They taught us how to write checks, how to like all these random things. And I see now, like, it was because I learned that stuff when I was young. Yeah, I was like in middle school. And most people just swipe a debit card. They don't know how to write a check. My girl, I had to teach her how to write a check. She's 30.
You too? I had to do that
Bro,
too.
I was like, what? Are you kidding me? But yeah, that's what I want to, like, that's how you change the generations to come, bro. Like, you don't have to just be, entertainers. You can be bankers, lawyers, doctors. Like, you can actually be that. And there's so many grants and stuff out here. Like Aaron, he's big on that. That's why he's in, I think he's going or in it, the master program for kinesiology. He's getting a CSCS, but he's applying for grants and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just creating more awareness.
Yeah, I'm on 4 degrees now, working on a 5th. I'm trying to be a PA. So like,
okay.
Yeah, I'm trying, and it's hard trying to do homework and then do this. Half the time, because I got 3 screens in front of me on my laptop. I got this big
all flags
monitor, another
every
big
fucking
monitor.
episode.
You just bring it up. I'm just saying how my life is. I can only speak for self. Like
he brings up how many monitors he has.
I got homework on one monitor. I got work on this one, and I got podcast stuff in the middle where I'm like trying to edit shit or program for athletes. And do that. So
you ever heard that saying, choose your heart?
No.
So basically is you can live a life of like what you're saying, being busy, productive, like moving the needle forward. Like that's one type of heart, or just sitting on your ass and struggling and regretting everything down the line because you didn't go hard on that end. Like being broke, poor, regretting stuff, like shoulda, coulda, woulda mindset, that's hard. Because you got to live with yourself the rest, like whatever little life you have left, you got to live with that.
Yeah.
So like
we haven't
this
figured
hard
out
to
a
bust my
reset
ass.
button for that yet.
Yeah, we need a reset button for that.
Yeah,
like
we need to have a reset button so people who get in those situations can Finally,
People,
just pay enough money
Yeah.
and hit the reset.
because people say that all the time. People go, oh, I want a really nice life. I want this. I want that. And then the second, I guess I can put it in CrossFit terms. I have somebody that used to come train with me. I think I said this on the last podcast, but I told him to come to the track with me for one day. Just let's go hit a track day. Halfway through it, he was like, I can't fucking do this. And I'm like, you don't want it that bad then. Like you think you want it because it looks cool. You just don't want it as much as you say you do. And from that point, I said that to him. And then now he's like deep into it. He's like, okay, I get what you were saying those days ago. Like yesterday, I was doing rowing intervals. I think it was like, it was 5 sets of holding a 200-meter row for a minute 29 pace and then 800 for 205. I got off that fucking rower. Tam came outside to get on the Concept 2 bike. I was like dying. I was like, I'm like trying to get my foot out of the row and I'm like yanking and pulling. And she comes over and hits the thing and lets my foot out. And I'm like, that was hard. And she was like, I'm proud of you, sweetie. But like people often choose the path of like least resistance. They go, oh, let's do this easy thing. Let's try this.
That's not what magic's at, bro.
Yeah, it's in the hard shit, honestly. And I think that still going back to another podcast, Mike Tyson was just on Joe Rogan again, and he was like, a life that misses suffering usually tends up not to be a life. Usually ends up not being a life at all. So, all that struggle you've been through. I know Steve didn't come from a lot. I didn't come from a lot. You didn't come from a lot. So to see us, at least all three of us sitting on the screen right now having a conversation means a lot to me. I think that we all have kind of found out where we fucked up or failed. Some people haven't figured it out yet because Steve is the youngest person here. But
hey, now.
But yeah, there's a lot to be said.
They'll move the needle.
On your face. Yeah, just try to even it like my belt that I got from BlitzBelts says 1% better. Each day is just a little bit on the needle, a little bit better.
Hang on, you got a customized belt?
That was me winning Blitz Bash. You got to win that. You got. I won that because I'm strong.
I mean, I'm very appreciative of BlitzBelts that I have a new belt and I used it yesterday. I would comment them in a lot of those posts, but I wear it under my t-shirt. I like that belt to skin. So I feel bad, but while we're mentioning sponsors, we do deem this a new necessary thing to do is to mention our sponsors during episodes. So just bear with us real quick. So
go ahead.
Ken, if you could pull up real quick the at least a link tree maybe to go through the sponsors. Because I probably got another 10 minutes after this.
10 minutes or so. Here we go. I'm going to pull it up and share the screen. Bam.
Yeah, after.
Here we go.
My peasant Wi-Fi wants to keep up.
Can everybody see it?
All right. So for those of you guys who don't know, it's new. We put up a few posts of it. If you haven't followed the Instagram page, go ahead, hit that follow button, and then head over to YouTube via this. I think it's on there. If not, just go to YouTube and look up our podcast name. Hit the subscribe button as well. We are now brought to you by title name sponsor, pause for effect, BlitzBelts.
Yeah.
BlitzBelts is a pretty sweet company. So far, they gave us a pretty good tour of their facility. It is, I think he said somewhere between 4 and 8 personnel are making these belts handcrafted out of their own warehouse, which is actually incredibly big for the size of company that they have. We have customizable belts. We have thin belts. We have larger belts, more back support. They go off the different ranges of sizes there. They have a sizing guide. I have the one that is, I think it's almost like marine camo with a sweet American flag on the inside.
Oh, yeah. Where is that one at? I can't find
that
one.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Right on the right. There we go. That one, perfect. That Velcro is insanely tough. I would say that. Most belts, they do not have the like 2-pood system where you have like that extra like cinch down on the band itself. But you don't really need that, in my opinion, unless you're scared that your belt is going to break, which we are not scared these are going to break. So
not at all.
We don't need that extraness, right? They also come in varying price ranges. Some of them, the more support you need, the more you're going to pay.
And they're customizable. You can put whatever you want on them. They'll even make you patches and stickers. They'll make you everything.
We need to get patches made. we need. It's not all black and white patches.
That's coming with that giveaway.
And then his company is going to need patches too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna try to make as many as we can.
Because then I need to get a new backpack so that I can put all these patches somewhere. Or I need another MacBook so I can load it up with stickers again, just like this one is.
Well, if this Instacart thing works out, then we'll be straight up good. So yeah.
Okay,
and
so
for Instacart.
Okay. Ken, go ahead.
Instacart. If you go to the link in the bio, the link tree, and you just click this link. Buy
it says
anything you want.
Instacart discount.
There's a lot of time that I spend where I don't want to go to the store, and actually it's cheaper for me to click on this link and open the app on my phone and just get people to deliver me groceries. Because I go in there like everybody else and you're hungry and you buy all kinds of extra shit that you don't fucking need. So this stops that. You only get what you want. You can tip the driver. Exactly. You can tip your driver before when you place your order, and then you can tip them again if the order came to your house and they got all the fresh stuff that you want. So
it's super dope. I get my my dog food through Instacart. They go to Petco and they pick it up for me, and then they drop it off exactly where I want it.
Crazy.
And if they can't get in my building, then I tell them where my car is parked, and I give them like the license plate, and they actually one time they put it under my car. The guy just put the driver put the dog food underneath the back wheel of my tire, which was super convenient. I wasn't home at the time, but he made sure he was like, "Hey, this seems like the safest place for you. So if you want, I can just leave it there."
Heck yeah.
Next thing is going to be HeroBarbell. HeroBarbell came to us after our podcast with them. They let us know that they were in fact looking to partner a little bit. They're not paying us to say this. This is out of the kindness of our heart and the agreement we have with them. These barbells are terrific. And luckily, I still have 3 of them in my gym. There are 3 women's bars as well if you want to go to Ballistic CrossFit. Quick shout out for them. These bars are amazing. They take bumps off the floor like no other bar I've had. The ceramic coating is terrific. The knurling is perfect. And when I mean perfect, it does not take off an inch of skin if you graze your leg. And it also is terrific for gripping the bar. Okay, so go out, head over to HeroBarbell, use the promo code that comes with our link tree. And that is, if you can't find that, which it's very easy to find, just head back over to the post that we made when we initially hung out with them. And it should tell you, it's in the bio. Yeah. Oh, snap.
Black and white 10.
Black and white 10. Hit them up. Those barbells, I think they come out to somewhere around $215, $225 with that discount.
Yeah, with that discount with shipping, you get $225 and some change.
And remember, when you have to pay for shipping on these, you pay for the weight. So the fact that they're giving you money off helps with that. So
that discount will get you it'll get you shipping off and get you like an extra $30. So you should be good to go.
Nothing we like better than saving some bread. Exactly. And then Ken, just let the people know about this last company.
About the last company? Oh, which one? Cerus?
Yeah, man. Gotta let them know. You use this stuff. I haven't had the privilege yet.
Here we go. Yeah, it's amazing. Like this first one right here was the first one they came out with, like Jeff explained earlier. This stuff is like liquid gold, especially when you're doing a lot of aerobic capacity stuff. I noticed a big difference in it when I take it about 30 to 40 minutes before my workout, get a little water in me, get it going through my body, and you don't get that weird nice and flush that you expect. But while you're moving through your workouts, you feel comfortable. You don't feel the panic sirens and the sympathetic nervous system going, hey, stop. You don't feel it happen so quick. It takes a little bit for you to get there. And like we said earlier, if you rewind the podcast, if you watch it on YouTube, you can see where my VO2 max was 39 to a 47 now. And that's just based on the last time I tested it as of last summer. So I'm pretty sure it's high now. I take it Tuesdays and Thursdays before my cardio pieces. Then I take it Wednesday, Friday before my longer 15+ minute Metcons. And it makes a huge difference. But it's meant for you to take it every single day. It's made of complete natural ingredients. We can go to one right now. I'll just click on Flow to be honest. I'll go Flow Pro because that's the bigger one. You need to get Flow Pro, a big old size of it. So
I just want to make sure everybody also knows that you put this in your mouth. You don't put this in any other orifice.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to tell you, you take this in your mouth. You don't put it in your butt, up your nose, in your ear.
I love it. You and I are on the same fucking page.
If that happens to you and you're trying to keep some shit, you've been in prison too long. But
the flow is in from the top down, not from the bottom up.
Bottom up.
Exactly.
So you got beetroot, ashwagandha, arjuna, rhodiola, cayenne pepper. It's all good for you. So do us a favor, slap that piece up in the link tree right down there, and you can go back and the code is the one that I have. It's right there. Everything that I make from this, I haven't set it up yet, Jeff, because I forgot the link to the portal. It's going to get donated to some nice cause.
Bro, I was just gonna ask if you set it up.
I haven't set up
I don't
the
remember
donation.
seeing that link, that email come in.
I haven't checked it yet. I need to get the link from you when we get off of here. But yeah, I don't want to keep any profits from any of this. I don't need it. Follow all of these pages from our bio on Instagram. They're inside of the bio of this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. Literally every podcast platform we're on it now. So no need to worry.
Wow.
Hop in whenever you want. So that was a really trying ordeal that I went through about 2 days ago when I asked Steve, and he was like, "Oh, let's just worry about growing first." And I was like, "No, fuck that. We're gonna get on every platform."
Well, he mentioned Pandora, and I said, I don't know how many people still use Pandora because there's so many options now that I think Pandora is probably the last one. Although my gym uses Pandora for music.
Oh no, they just switch Spotify.
They don't want to pay anything. So I'm like, well, you get what you pay for, I guess. One
of the last questions that I have for Jeff that I think I've asked him this before. I'll even go as far as to say that no, I'm gonna skip that question. I'm gonna go to this one. We just had an episode with James Townsend, and you know James, correct? Y'all know
yeah, that's my guy, bro.
That's your guy. And we're talking about
you should jump in that DM or in those fucking comments.
In those comments that we have. If you follow the page, Jeff, you can watch the comments and watch me artfully pick apart a person. So he's a really good person. He did a lot for me when I went down there for quarters. And the question I have for you is, do you think it's appropriate for somebody to assassinate somebody's character based on having 20% of the information?
That was a very good question.
You gotta have a full story. You can't. To me, that just makes no sense.
Yeah.
First of all, do you know the situation that we're talking about
with the athlete leaving?
Yeah.
Well, more or less, I guess. The thing that we just experienced today, which are our first melodramatic drama that assessed on our page, was somebody came out and they're like, "Hey, James Townsend's kind of full of shit," which again, neither Ken nor I believe that, mainly because all we've heard of is James. We've only heard from him.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to be willing to develop a distaste for somebody based off of what is this? Real Truth Time 86. I have a feeling that that's somebody's graduation year, and they thought they were super clever by calling it the Real Truth Time. So I don't mean to hijack this podcast, but this person can literally lick my fucking nuts.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to come on my new podcast that I started with my friend to do good, and you're going to fucking tell people that whomever we have on here, because James, he's a great dude, but Jim Hensel, that 15, 20 years ago, somebody like Jim Hensel probably would have been thought of as a con man.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the episode and you do the work and you actually go study what they're doing, it's foolproof. They're good people. Granted, yes, they're trying to make a living. It's a job. So at some point you have to either turn a profit or be able to, support your family on it. I don't think James has his own gym. Yes, he has his own training company. Yes, he gets paid for it. Knowing Jared Anderson, I know how much these kind of dudes make when they have good programming. It is a fuck ton of money. And it is a lot of work. But if you're going to come on here and be telling me or any of my co-hosts, I don't know if you saw my message receipt, but I told them to kind of
there's Steve's comment. But when somebody comes on our podcast and they show us evidence to the fact of these things happening and it backs up exactly what they're saying, people can go on YouTube and see this, by the way. All this is going on YouTube. Nothing's cut or edited out or abridged. And they show me the evidence. I have no choice but to believe them for what they've shown me right then, because there's three sides to every story.
Hey,
their side, the other person's side, and the fucking truth in the middle. And looks like right now, James is more on the line with the truth than the other parties.
Well, I mean, that's just because we haven't heard anything from this person. But
I've thrown it out there. I've thrown the bait out there.
We both have. But as far as we both know, you own this company and you own these supplements, and yes, you're partnered with somebody else. Now, if all of a sudden somebody jumps in my DMs or in this comment on this episode and tells me he doesn't own that shit, they better prove that shit.
Yeah.
Because I would love to have somebody else on to debate all that shit, and I would love to see their face and fucking express all that shit. But again, we just believe the people that we have on here. The people that we have on here, we believe, Ken and I, that they are here to do good, that they are here to benefit communities in some form or fashion. Now, if somebody could be a dad or a mom that doesn't pay child support when they're supposed to, but they could be doing something good with their company. We're not focused on their personal life necessarily.
Yeah,
so
no.
if you come on here to promote your company, your book, your programming, the mental health mindset stuff, that's what we're here for. We're not here to degrade other people. I think that was something good thing you brought that up, because if not, I was going to do a whole episode on that.
How does that make you feel, Jeff? Like, how does that make you feel as an individual? I'm not telling you to take a side, but what would be your perspective that happened to you?
I mean, I've been taken advantage of a lot in my life, but again, it goes back to agreement number 2. You can never eat, no matter like how close they were, like it happened. You just like, I feel like from the stuff I've seen, he's becoming more at peace with everything. He's finding himself becoming more spiritual, focusing on the gym, developing more athletes. Like everything happens for a reason. That put him in that position because he needs to focus on other people.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And whatever happens, with that athlete, like, we'll see down the line. But from what he told me, we talked a little bit, and I know his backstory back when he was in California, on that gym, how he got messed over. Mm-hmm. So he's taking a beating just the same as I have lost a lot of money on gyms or whatnot. But like, God tests you for a reason. Like, it's so much more out there that you're supposed to be focused on. So
as much as I don't personally believe in God, I really hated that somebody attacks his faith, like, first thing off.
Yeah, like, don't do
like,
that.
Your Bible should be telling you that. Like, oh, man, why don't you take my Bible and shove that shit up your ass?
It's that keyboard warriors mentality that people live in nowadays. Like,
Ken got into that.
Bro,
he played
that
that character
somebody
well.
to come talk shit to me in person. Like, it doesn't, like, I wasn't raised like that.
No. And getting hit nowadays is something that most people are pretty fearful of.
No, bro. Like, to me, all this typing on keyboards and stuff. Like, I remember after Granite Games, and I don't want to keep too long because I got to roll in a minute.
Yeah.
But after Granite Games, Jared Stevens hit me up. He was like, "Hey, bro, somebody was saying that you're using drugs because you got third." And I'm like, "Who was it?" He was like, "I didn't want to share, or I don't want to share." I'm like, "Why don't you tell me so I can talk to that person?" Because all my career, nobody ever said anything. I was from the start when I got in, like, literally the first month, I was like top 10 in strength. And then after that first year, like, I was the guy in weightlifting, me and Neil Maddox. So for somebody to come at me that way, knowing, like, and they didn't know what it took. Like, I was training, again, like 3-4 hours of only conditioning gymnastics, no weightlifting, for 3 months straight. And that's when I came out and executed on everything. And for somebody to say that, it's like, they're just pissed off because they didn't put the same amount of work in and effort and focus. Because I knew that was my last time going out. So I wanted to make sure I had nothing left on the table.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Jared Stevens, because he's a bro for the show.
Yeah. Every year, I have to send y'all this picture. Every year, it was this athlete. He was making his dumbass face after a workout, and he took a snapshot of it. And every year we send it back to each other. It's so funny. We just die laughing.
That's what I was
back
about
at
to
his Shred Fest event.
Because I was about to tell you, do you know Jared Stevens? And I was going to say, you need to link up with him and the Tactical Games people, because we shot a message to Tactical Games and someone was typing and then they stopped. And I was like, oh no, they almost responded to come on the podcast. But yeah, that Tactical Games is probably the next place you get a lot of revenue out of. Those guys.
Yeah, I know Anthony, I think he's the guy that started it. He was out of Naples, CrossFit Redline. Anthony, what's his last name?
Fauci?
No, hell no. Is that? I'm blanking on it. I swear it's see if you can find it.
Anthony.
Is an older guy, bald, white guy.
Oh, I think I just found him. Hold on. Oh. This really tall gentleman. Let me see. Let me share my screen.
You've been sharing your screen all day.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
Is it
I'm
that guy
blanking on
right
his
there?
last name.
This guy?
Nah, I don't. It
Would
doesn't look
all
like him.
bald white people look the same, Ken?
Yeah.
Fair.
I gotta give it to you. Anthony
Nah,
Desaro.
I know he. Yeah,
Anthony
Desaro.
President
Yeah, I
of the
think that's.
Patriot
I'm
Games.
pretty sure that's his last name. But he used to own CrossFit Redline, and
I can see Jacob Hepner looking all boss ass bitch in that.
Here's a
Right.
picture of him from LinkedIn. Let me see if I can.
We need to get him on the podcast.
I have LinkedIn Premium, so I'll probably just message him. This gentleman right here.
No, not him. I meant Jacob Hepner.
Yeah, that too. This is the guy you're speaking of.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. But yeah, Jeff, I don't want to take up too
that's
much
him.
of your time.
Yeah, he's
That's
out of
him?
Naples. He started that up, but he's a solid guy if y'all can get him on.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna get him on come hella high water and watch this. It only takes like a couple of messages.
It'll take like 2 or 3 minutes.
2 or 3
this
messages. But yeah, I don't take up too much more of your time, Jeff. We appreciate having you on, but take the next few
Yeah, I
minutes
appreciate
or
it,
whatever.
fellas.
Oh yeah, take the next few minutes and tell everybody where they can find you and just spill it all out.
So my personal is the real Jeff Evans. That's on IG. I post most of my weightlifting stuff on there. I just try to, as consistent as it can be. But that, and then at CerusPerformance, CerusPerformance.com, that's, all the products and stuff like that. If you got any questions, always DM me. You can see all the reviews on there. I think we got over 60 at this point. Been doing great. So a lot of new stuff to come.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I would tell you the only thing that we may ask of you is whatever we post and tag you in, if you could do us a solid of just reposting it, however many people you have following you, combined with ours, let us help you out. We'll do whatever we can. We just ask that people just help us. Oh shit, I saw you.
Definitely.
You popped up in my search feed today, actually.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was like some $395 clean or something like that.
390, yeah.
Let's watch it real quick. Let's watch it do some work.
Jesus Christmas.
That's
You have
fucking crazy.
Hey, that was beltless too, just so you know.
I always clean beltless, but BlitzBelts makes me wear a belt, so I'm gonna wear a belt. Goddamn it!
I snatch beltless all the time. I don't cleans. I'll use a belt, but I guess we got to get him a BlitzBelt now so that he can promote BlitzBelts.
Oh yeah,
I'm game.
Get him a belt.
We're also very famous for after podcast. We'll set you up with whatever companies we have on, or if we think that there's a good connection, we'll hit you guys together.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, I appreciate it.
All
right. Take it easy, Jeff.
Yeah, I'll holler at you later.
All right, bye.
All right, peace.
That was good. That was really good.
Stop recording.